All right, let's all see why circumcision is a fraud. And a fraud of very large proportions.
Circumcision is no longer widely practiced or accepted in much of the world. The United States is a notable exception, whose doctors still promote circumcision as a normal medical surgery. However, attitudes about circumcision are quickly changing. In November 2020, a major new paper was published by prominent legal scholars in the Cornell Journal of Law and Public Policy, with the simple title, "Is Circumcision a Fraud?" This paper lays out in detail why circumcision is not only a violation of medical ethics, but also unlawful and fraudulent under current U.S. law. The scale of the fraud is potentially vast, possibly in the tens or even hundreds of billions of dollars. This has enormous implications for doctors, hospitals, patients, and American society. Here are the 5 points in the paper you need to know. 1. Circumcision is impossible to justify on medical grounds. 2. Circumcision violates a child's right to bodily integrity. 3. Nontherapeutic circumcision constitutes criminal assault and battery under U.S. law. 4. Doctors routinely withhold critical information regarding circumcision, which is a breach of trust and a violation of medical ethics. And 5. The American Academy of Pediatrics, or AAP, has knowingly misrepresented the risks and complications of circumcision, which is fraud. We'll briefly
So, because there are so many complex layers to this fraud, and because the implications are connected to several different parts of society, and because it is a taboo topic that is hidden inside of a man's pants, it is a largely unseen fraud that can continue. This is also largely because I really don't think a lot of men in America are readily willing to admit that part of their genitals have been made defective in any way.
Explain each point. First, non-therapeutic circumcision is impossible to justify on medical grounds. This view is widely accepted in the international medical community. But U.S. doctors present circumcision as a normal and routine procedure. In reality, circumcision is a harmful, unnecessary, and irreversible surgery that removes important healthy tissue that can never be replaced. 38 international medical authorities have spoken out that circumcision is unethical, unlawful, and violates a doctor's Hippocratic oath to do no harm. For these reasons, circumcision is impossible.
So that was a lot of international institutions speaking out about circumcision, but in America there is a very American-centric view of the world. So despite all of that, it doesn't really mean anything for the perception of circumcision for many in America.
To justify as normal or routine. Second, circumcision violates a child's right to bodily integrity. A cherished American ideal is that its citizens have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The Supreme Court has ruled that no right is more carefully guarded than the right of every individual to be free and safe from harm. Parents, however, do not have the right to consent to unnecessary surgery. For example, they can't cut off a baby's finger just because they want to, nor may doctors conduct unnecessary surgery.
All right, that is probably one of the most important points to make right now. There is no other body part on the human body that parents in America can amputate from their child simply because they don't like it. The foreskin on males is treated differently. My body, my choice does not apply to men. They are not viewed in America as autonomous individuals that necessarily would be able to make choices about their own body.
Due to their Hippocratic oath to do no harm, which leads to the third point. Circumcision is criminal assault. In simple terms, circumcision is violence, not medicine. When surgery is performed on a child without informed legal consent, under U.S. law, it is considered assault, battery, and child abuse. Internationally, circumcision is viewed as child violence, not medicine. The United Nations Partner Council on Violence Against Children has stated that circumcision is a gross violation of a child's rights. Fourth, circumcision is a breach of patient trust and a violation of a doctor's medical ethics. Before performing any surgery, doctors must always obtain informed consent from patients or parents. To obtain consent, doctors must fully inform patients or parents of the surgery's risks and complications. Circumcision has a list of at least 50 possible complications. By routinely withholding this critical information, doctors breach their duty to fully inform patients and tell the truth. This is illegal and unethical.
So by withholding that the infant could potentially die, over 100 infants in America die every year from circumcision complications. This can include bleeding out, but also infection. But when an infant dies from a circumcision, they might just tell the parents it was sudden infant death syndrome.
Fifth, and crucially, circumcision is intentional fraud by the American Academy of Pediatrics and participating physicians. Parents are being deceived into routinely performing surgery that has no meaningful childhood benefits, yet carries significant risks and a lifetime of harm. Internationally, the medical rule is to never operate unnecessarily on healthy children. The AAP knows this, but still positions circumcision as a normal and beneficial procedure. This is so their doctors can be reimbursed for the procedure from insurance companies and taxpayers.
It's all true. The medical industry in America is very profit-driven, which is how a cosmetic surgery can be so harshly solicited towards infants in this country.
And insurance companies pay for at least 1/3 of circumcisions. If circumcision was recognized as the unnecessary surgery that it is, AAP stakeholder members would be impacted by a significant decline in revenue. This is fraud. The AAP knows circumcision is harmful and unnecessary, but they continue to endorse it publicly so their doctors can continue to profit. This is wrong and illegal. Know the facts, know your rights, and help us stop the fraud that is circumcision. If you want to learn more, visit www.circumcisionisafraud.com.
Alright, so this is a lot of information to take in all at once, especially if this is a new topic for you. So let me know in the comments what you are thinking about all of this.